What's up, people? As you can read from the title, I passed the verification, so I'm funded again, and we'll see how long that lasts in the upcoming funded series I'm gonna do. But before I get started on that, I really wanted to give you guys a honest self-assessment on where I'm at in my trading. I can say this now, nowhere near consistent yet. I've gained more confidence in my edge. I can read the markets well, but I'm still stuck in that boom and bust cycle. And it's like Green Day, Green Day, Green Day, Green Day, and then a huge red day. And it's always sudden and explosive. I'm usually maxing out the loss, doing the most damage possible. And that happened 3 times during this verification. One positive thing I can say about my trading in the last few months is that I've gotten a lot better at forgiving myself. My self-esteem, my confidence recovers a lot faster than it used to. And this time round, I've really analysed my patterns of behaviour and the sequence of events that lead up to these huge blowout days. And it's always the same. We're going to go through my metrics and trades and just identify this pattern that keeps on repeating itself, because if I can't learn from my mistakes, hopefully you can. And being able to identify these triggers and warning signs in real time, being able to challenge yourself to be mindful and present when shit's going left, is probably the best asset you can have as a trader. So this is the FTMO account ready to go. I've had this nearly a week. I've just been sitting on it. And one thing I would say as well is that the 2 times I got a funded account in the past, I went and started trading straight away as soon as I got it, which is just please, like if you ever get a funded account, just don't do that. Just take some time out, recenter, refocus, and that's what I'm doing at the moment. But we'll get started next week. So this is the verification I passed. I think in my last video, I was up about 3.5K. If you remember, I was in a gold trade. Let me just show you that real quick. I set my TP at 1940 at the end of the video. Ended up getting shaken out of that trade, re-entered 2-3 times, but I lost conviction. Missed out on a winner that could have potentially passed the challenge. And that brings me to my first point. Accumulated emotion from previous trades. Missing out on trades like this, getting shaken out, losing my conviction, then seeing the trade play out. I'm actually used to that now. So that happens multiple times. March the 4th is where we had this big drop. This was the first trade of the day here. Pretty small size and half of what I usually risk, because I usually risk about 300. So this is another thing I realized about the pattern, is that my risk tolerance will increase as the day goes along. If I started off and gave it a bit more room, it would have worked out. So this got stopped out, no big deal. Still wasn't shaken out of my original bias. I re-enter, that was bigger size, so I've increased size here. Price moved in my direction, came back down, I broke even. Bearing in mind I had slightly bigger size, so maybe I was trying to avoid the risk, avoid the loss. But what happened shortly after is we had the impulse up that I've been waiting for. This leads me to the next stage in the pattern. Trade moves without me, and there's this natural urge to now fade my original bias. And this is something I've learned to resist and step back from, which has actually been a big part of how I improved my trading in the last 3 to 6 months, but it still gets me. So if you see here, I tried to fade it once, twice, and this was within minutes of each other. So I am going on tilt right now. And I think why it was so easy for me to go on tilt early on is really from the day before, when that gold trade that would have finished my challenge, I got shaken out of it. So it's just that accumulated emotion that brings you that little bit closer to going on tilt quite easily. But I did recognize I was going on tilt. I just knew the right thing to do. I saw it was going to be a quick short squeeze, and I entered 8 lots. So I've increased my size. I made about 1.4%. I got out of it at the right time, but I think 5 or 6 more points I would have passed the verification. The US Open came, was looking at the price action. I now wanted to go short, and I reduced my size. I made some money on this short, about 15 points. So I think it was this trade here, and then decided to go long again. I got out too early on this short. So at this point, it's just getting a bit more messy. It's getting a bit more random. There was a few random trades here. Then I think I moved to Bitcoin. So I think I ended the day at 4%. This is where we get our 5% loss. It was after the session finished. I didn't need to be on the charts. I did not need to take another trade. Being so close to hitting the target earlier on in the day, missing out on opportunities, but being correct on the bias. Yeah, I don't know. I just couldn't really walk away from the charts. I was still looking at the charts. Really wanted to hit that target. This is what happened. So we're going to see, I was messing around with Bitcoin and it was about midnight London time. So some news come out and it was some news to do with Ukraine. Actually, now I remember what happened. So I'm trying to go short on Bitcoin and I was in a nice entry and I went to break even. I was watching my Bitcoin trade that I got knocked out of play out. And if I had stuck in that Bitcoin trade, I would have been in a winning trade close to passing the verification. So now seeing that, I'm getting triggered a little bit. I'm starting to get pissed off. And you know, we've had a sharp news reaction on the SP 500. I've got no reason to go long. I've got no bias here, but I'm watching this and I start buying. You know, I'm thinking I'm getting a discounted price. It's just a random trade. It's just more like a gamble. I bought all of this up in the space of 20 minutes. 5 lots, lost 500. 10 lots, lost 1,000. 10 lots, 15 lots. Just a moment of craziness, and I lost 5k that day. So we'll have a look at what happened here. 9th of March, first initial bias, sell gold, and I put 0.3 lots of gold and that went break even. Obviously could have worked out. The next one, I increased size, same bias, and I got stopped out, so 44 to 47. I don't think I've marked up anything else. Yeah, as you can see, my initial bias was correct and price melted. So let's see what happens next. Some buy trades on the SP 500, one loser, one winner. Nothing happened. Okay, so sell gold again. Try and short again here at 31 and I get stopped out again. Now I'll start buying. So I've got buys here at 2011, 2017, 2025. So I'm piling up losses here. I did take a gold trade back and got back to 1.5% positive. So I would have been, at that point, I would have been down 1.5% on the day. Of course, I wasn't going to leave it like that. So let's have a look at the trade that got me back up. Yeah, okay, now I remember. So short at 2021. 2 lots here together, all together, same trade, and my target is 1988, 241 at 2021, okay, whatever the stop was, and 1988. So this move here, I caught the move, perfect entry, and I got back 3k back. Of course, I couldn't sit on the position. I scaled out. And if I didn't scale out and if I just sat on it, I would have, even being from this catastrophe that happened in the middle here, I would have passed the verification. You know, seeing that I've missed out on these moves because I'm not managing it right, makes me start increasing my size, start trading more frequently, and with a less clear plan. Just more of what I want from the markets. I'm projecting what I feel is right, but not thinking objectively. So I'm not sure if that made sense to you guys, but I wanted to try and explain, you know, the typical sequence of events that lead up to me revenge trading. And if I don't remain mindful while this is happening, it could easily spiral out of control. I reckon a lot of you may relate to this. Let me know in the comments if you do.